Everyone, welcome back to our channel Trailhead Ranger NJ. And today we will be doing this module, that is JavaScript Developer 1 certification maintenance. And you should do this module only if you have already certified JavaScript Developer 1 and it is maintenance due. And you can see that in your Trailhead profile where all the certifications are linked. There will be coming up as maintenance due right after your certification, and also there will be a button that is complete maintenance. If you will click on this, it will lead you direct to this certification. And if you want this Trailhead link, it will be in the description of this video as well. So let's get started with this module. Our first unit is maintain your JavaScript Developer 1 certification for summer 24. So we are talking about that we can now dynamically import and instantiate Lightning Web components using import like this. And also, even if this if doesn't work, it is initially analyzable. Um, if you can see in code also, we do have one another target introduced, so that we can use or generate a URL for our Lightning Web component and make it available using this, that is Lightning URL addressable. So earlier, if you remember, we used to expose our Lightning Web component for record page, app page, home page, community, or such things. So if we give this Lightning URL addressable, so we can expose or make it available our LWC as a URL or via URL. If we talking about that, navigate to the custom component, we used to use this Lightning navigation and that navigation mixing. If we want to navigate to some record page in view mode or edit mode, or even on next page or some URL, but now we can navigate to our component as well using Lightning navigation. If we will give type as standard component and then component name and its property value if there is any, then we can navigate to our component as well. So it will be very handy for our future reference. Then if we talk about that, we can pass if any key and value, yes, that you can give it in state. So what it is, that if you are having any API property which you need to pass to your component, suppose the way we are doing it in parent and child component, you can pass that property here as well. That is the key, and that will be the value. And in our URL addressable component, which we had just exposed by giving Lightning underscore URL addressable, we can use getter to return the property value from the state object. Like this, we can get the property current page reference, then state, and then what's the property value, and then expose this property value to make it available for another component as well. Okay, and then major things, we have these additional components as well, which are adapted to prepare for native shadow DOM: lightning button, file upload, formatted name, formatted number, navigation, progress bar, then progress ring, lightning select, and lightning text area. You can go through these its documentation as well for more for to get into more detail of it. And then if we talk about class and style attributes, which we used to render, so earlier they used to not render with extra white spaces or give problem. Now we can have it rendered with extra white spaces as well. Here it is. um, okay, and we can use this query selector for having our classes, to access to our classes using query selector, but not this. Okay, so let's come to the quiz. First question is, what are the benefits of using dynamic component creation? First option is, developers can avoid loading large modules that they don't need for all use cases. Second is, a component instance can be created when the underlying component constructor isn't known until runtime. And third is, it introduces runtime performance overhead. So I guess B and C should be the correct answer. Let's check. Second is, how can a developer make a component available via URL? So that's we checked. The first option is embed the lightning web component in the aura component. No. Second is include the lightning URL addressable target in the components JS meta file and set is exposed tag to true. So yes. Third is set the is exposed tag to false and the API version tag to a later version. No. Fourth is enable the feature in experience builder rather than the lightning console app. So second option should be the correct one. Third question is what is the purpose of the modifications to the Salesforce lightning design system? First is to add visual regression experiences to your site. Second is to develop a new system for customization using CSS override. Third is to create color and layout changes in the UI. And fourth is to support future product innovation. The answer should be to support future product innovations. Let's come to the fourth question. What should developers do to prepare for Salesforce adoption of native Shadow DOM in base Lightning components? First is rewrite any test that relied on the protected internal DOM structure. Second is update custom code that relied on the previous internal structure of Lightning components. Third is begin using Selenium based test. So A and B should be the correct option. Let's come to fifth. And it's saying why do components render with extra white spaces in the class and style attributes. First is an exact class name can no longer be used to query elements. Second is unexpected characters typically appear in values for those attributes. No. Third is dynamic elements have been optimized in the DOM. Fourth is an optimization resulted in a change to how static nodes are rendered in the DOM. So fourth option should be the correct. And let's go through our options first. Let's check first one again. What are the benefits of using dynamic component creation? So I guess A and B should be the correct one. Not C is not the right one. Let's check our quiz. And it's correct. Let's move on to the next unit. That is get ready for the hands-on challenge. So let's move on to the hands-on challenge directly. On challenge they are saying the package you installed includes metadata that you will need to complete the challenge, including the boat and boat type custom objects, and in this step we'll verify that you completed all of the pre-work from this unit. Then we will populate this playground with sample data to set up for success. So what we have to do, you can go here and here is the package ID. You can launch your playground and make sure the playground you have linked is the one which is linked to your VS code as well. And if not, then please if you are looking for how to connect your playground to the VS code, please check out the video that how you can connect your developer or to the Visual Studio Code. I'll be launching my playground. After opening install a package, we will paste the package ID here, then click on install. After clicking on install, select install for admins only, and then click on install. Let's wait for it. After it's being installed, we will see the done button over here. You can see our app name is LWC package and publisher is Salesforce, and its version name and version number as well we have here. So let's click on this done button. Then we will go back here. After coming back here, you can see after the package they are saying we need to create a lightning web component that is bot picker, and then we will have to paste this JS file. So we'll go to our Visual Studio Code and then create the LWC with this name. Sorry, I'll copy this name again just to make sure that there is no misspelled words. And then I'll go back, I'll copy this code from here. Let's copy. After copy it, go to your VS Studio and place all of this. And then they are saying we need to replace the HTML file as well, so we will copy all this code from HTML file, then again go to the Visual Studio and paste it in the HTML document. Now let's go back, and then there we have a CSS file as well. So we'll click on this, then create the CSS file, that is boatpicker.css, and then paste this code here. And then we just have to save it and deploy it to the playground. So you can see I have linked my org, that playground one already here. If you have not, please do that, it is very important. So let's wait for it to get deployed. It's deployed. Now I'll go back and let's check the challenge. So our this challenge is completed. Now let's move on to the next unit. Our next unit is get hands on with lightning record picker. So this is the new element they have introduced. So what we can do, we can search for our records using this. It will have these properties, that is label. Label is select a record, placeholder will be search, object API we can give that for which object it will search for the records, then what value it will store, and the handler it will work on chain. So it will look something like this, and then we can search for record and store it like this. So you'll be completing this unit in your own org on handsorg and click launch to get started. So our playground is already launched, and we need to implement and configure a lightning record figure component. If you haven't already completed, you need to then do that now, otherwise you won't be able to complete this challenge. So we need to update the board picker component which we had created in the last unit. We need to configure the picker to display board name as the main field and type as an additional field. Okay, and then we need to configure the picker to search boat name as the main field and type as an additional field. Okay, and then the third point is we need to configure the picker to change which boat is displayed when the selected record is changed. Also, it is saying that to ensure the component is working as expected, deploy the component to the home page of the Lightning Service application. So we have deployed the component, but to ensure that it will be visible to the service application, what we have to do, go to its meta file, then change the parameter to true, then define the targets. Target says Lightning app page and Lightning home page we will give, because we want this page to component to be visible on home page as they said. Let's wait for the deployment. Now it's deployed. Let's go back to the playground. After going back to the playground, we have to do, we'll search for the service application from the app launcher. Then click on edit page from this gear icon. After clicking this, we will search for our component in the search list. Board picker. So here is our component, let it load. After it's load, we will just drag our component and drop it here. Let's drop it on top here so that it will be more visible to us. Then click on save. Let's go back. Okay, it's not saved yet, it's saved now. Let's go back, we'll activate this. After going back, we should be able to see our component here. But as you might aware, we were seeing some error back in the component. If we will go to the edit page, you can see those errors. I'm redoing this step because somehow I lost the component. I'll assign it as auth default, then save. Then again I'll go back, and now I should be able to see my component. Yes. So what is saying that this field can't load because of a configuration problem, and ask your Salesforce admin for help. Browser inventory, bot browser, search by bot name or type. So we'll go back here, and if you see here, it is saying that we need to configure the picker to display bot name as the main field and type as an additional field. So we'll go back to our Visual Studio and then HTML. Let's study the code first. So here is our lightning record picker, and label and placeholder is there. So if you remember, if we will go back here, lightning record picker, they have defined that apart from label and placeholder, we should have these as well. So we'll copy this, we'll go back, and we will paste this over here, fix the indentation, and our object API name is not our object API name is not contact, so we'll search our name of our object, that is boat. It should be here. Yeah, it is here as boat. So we'll just go back to the Visual Studio and replace it with this, and we will see if our value is set in JS. So you can see boat picture, boat name, boat owner, price and type are we are getting from this get methods, and we have fields as picture, name field, owner field, price field and type field. So let's deploy this first, then we will see. We'll go back here and we'll refresh this. Here we can see that our component still required some more changes. So what we will do, we'll go back to the Visual Studio and go to the component, and then in our component what we have to do, instead of value there is another parameter, that is display info, that is what info we want to display. So we'll give this property name as display info itself, and then again we have another property, that is matching info. So we'll click on this and give name it as matching info. After doing this, we will deploy this, and then we'll go back to the JS. We need to define this property as well so that it can fetch the value of these properties. We can see that they are doing this show boat. What we will do, we'll just give some space here and then display info, the parameters name which we had given on the HTML. Then define its field values, that is primary field, which is should be name as mentioned in the trailhead, and then additional field is should be only one field we want to give for now, so that should be boat type. You can check the relation from object manager as well. So that would be our display info, and if we talk about matching info to which it should be matched, so this should be matching info's primary field would be field path name, And for more information on these properties, you can check out the documentation of this lightning record picker. Additional fields is field path and then board type, because we wanted to match it to type. And let's define our handler as well, that is handle change. It will receive an event, and this will assign it to the board id, that is event, dot detail dot value. So let's deploy this. Now let's move back to the playground and let's refresh this page, see if the error persists. So error is gone. We can search for our boat name, but we don't know any boat name, so we'll search for boat in the app launcher and open it in new tab to see what all records we are having. So Albert, Strathgordon, Hobart does. So let's search for Albert. Boat name is Albert. It is giving us that name. We'll select this and we can browse our inventory from here like this. Even using type, we can also do that. Let's open the boat. So you can see type is yacht. Let's search for yacht. So all the records which is having that yacht as a type, we are having all those boat name. Let's select this one. So that's how lightning record picker is working. And we'll go to our challenge, and here we were seeing that we need to configure the picker to display boat name as the main field and type as an additional field, that we did. Then we need to configure the picker to search boat name as the main field and type as an additional field, we did. And we need to configure the picker to change which bot is displayed when the selected record is changed. Okay, and this is also we did. Let's check our challenge if it's completed or have we missed anything. Whenever a new element is introduced as part of the lightning, that is lightning record picker, lightning card, lightning radio buttons or anything like that, you can just check out their documentation. They have provided some examples as well, and otherwise the different properties they provide, so you can check those out. In the board picker controller, we could find the proper configuration of which additional fields to display. Okay, let's go back and see what we have missed. So one mistake which we have made, that this boat ID, its detail value dot record ID not should be event dot detail dot value. So let's deploy this. And one more error was that in lightning record picker we need to define that value which we just implemented in this boat ID variable. So we need to implement that as well. So just add this parameter as well, that value equals to boat ID. After this, let's refresh this as well as this. Now I'll search for Albert again. We'll select this and boat picture and its detail is coming up, so it seems correct. Now let's check our challenge. So that's how we have completed our this certification maintenance course for JavaScript Developer 1. And I hope you learn about this new lightning record picker and that why we are doing this JavaScript Developer 1 certification maintenance course. And I'll refresh this module should be updated as well. And for your reference, I'll be providing the updated code of VS of that HTML and JS file in the comments. And yes, thank you. Stay tuned.